whose board is that one over there? Is that yours? Would you mind me taking a look at that and talking through it with everyone else? Okay, so this is obviously, really, it's a professional one, isn't it? So what I want to do now, I'll just grab a different colour pen, so I'm going to scribble on here. This exercise is all about perspective and how we can change our perspective. And if we force ourselves to change our perspective, how we can then change how we feel about things and get ourselves onto a nice upward spiral. So let's go and walk over there. So what the idea is we're going to look at everything that's on this board. Now, obviously, good is good. We don't want to change that, do we? But what is good to see is that there's plenty of it, and in fact there's more than what's on the other side. So on the balance of things, we're in a good situation, yes? So let's have a look at what we've got here. Commuting. You have to think fairly hard about that, don't you? How commuting can be considered a good thing at all. But I went through a stage, being in the Royal Marines as an officer. The first part of my career, I used to always live on camp, and so you literally right there, you roll out of bed at 7 o'clock in the morning, and 8 o'clock in the morning you're in the office raring to go. And then for a while, when I was up in Arbroath, I got into a relationship with a girl up there who lived 20 minutes away, just on the edge of Dundee, Water Ferry, and I ended up pretty much living at her house with her. And actually, what I've got to say is that was a real eye-opener for me. Having a 20-minute drive every morning into work actually gave me time to think about what it was I was going to do that day, and clear my head, and decide how I was going to approach the day and really get on with it. Now, I admit, if it's an hour every day, that seems a bit long. But what if we were to take this commuting and put it to good use? So, for instance, planning your day, or in your head, working through any problems that you've got. Or even, if you're in a stressful job, just using it to relax a little bit, put the radio on and get some background music on and just use it to chill out a little bit. So, does commuting have to be a bad thing? No? So we can potentially move that across here, a big arrow. Actually, it can be a good thing. At the very least, it could be in the middle, couldn't it? But let's say potentially it could be a good thing when you look at it.
If you get by public transport, I think that can be sometimes more positive because you can read a book.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas if you're driving, it's sometimes stressful.
Yeah, it's what I'd say is you've got to make the decision. If you're going to drive and you make the decision, actually on the journey today, I am going to think through such and such problem and I'm going to work it out. Or on the journey today, actually I'm just going to listen to the radio and relax. Put the news on. You know, I know I'm only 30 years old, but I do actually enjoy listening to Radio 4 and just letting the news go on in the background. And you know, you can really make most of it, but what you need to do is choose to make the most of that period of time. Okay, and if you do that, you can turn it into a good thing. So what's next? Decisions over next career steps. Well, that's interesting. Talk to us. Tell us a bit about that.
So, on one hand, it relates to the good and the opportunities and it's quite an exciting time, but I think it's more the confidence in knowing that I'm making the right decision.
Okay.
I'm a management trainee within the NHS and coming towards the end of my time on the team. You know, it's weighing up whether the job that's come up is that the right on the table, is it not, is it, you know, if I don't do that, something else come up.
So have you got a choice of jobs that you can go for then?
Yeah.
That's a good thing. How many people here want a choice of jobs that you go to? Yeah, so really, actually, you're just worrying a little bit about the decision you're going to make. Okay.
And there's obviously no guarantee that the job I apply for is going to be one that I get. But
And can you apply for as many as you like?
yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So chances are you'll get one of them, and there's some choices out there. They've invested in you in this management scheme, so the fact that you're still there and applying for other jobs at the end of it suggests to me that if they've invested in you, they're probably not just going to get rid of you, because that would make no sense whatsoever. That sounds to me like you're actually in a pretty good position there. Anyone disagree? No? Kind of all right? We'll move that across to that.
Can I just add to that though?
Go on.
Within the NHS as well, when you do secure a job after the end of your management training, you have the opportunity as well to embed yourself within that role, but also look at other opportunities as well. And by that time you'll be established, so you can progress and you'll learn from whatever has been thrown at you in that position. You'll learn from it and take it with you further on in your career.
Okay, so the next question, sufficiently challenging. You're questioning, is the job sufficiently challenging for you?
Yeah, and if I'm really challenging myself in that as well.
Okay, so that says to me a couple of things. One, I'd say the NHS is in a pretty challenging situation at the moment. Anyone feel like, as a corporation, your jobs are easy? There's a lot of pressure on you, isn't there? There's a lot of, so that says to me there's potential to challenge yourself. It also says to me that if you feel like that, then you should be really looking at the potential for how you promote. If you think that you can do your job relatively easily, you should be in a position to do it exceptionally well, and then look at getting promotions and taking your career further. The question here is, are you willing to challenge yourself and do that? I don't think it's whether the job is sufficiently challenging, because we can always do our jobs a little bit better, can't we? So probably just cross that one out. It doesn't really move across, but I think we can probably cross that one out, can't we? Go on. Yeah.
I was sort of thinking along the lines of sometimes it's sort of this imposter syndrome where you think you've kind of arrived in a role which is, quite a privileged position to be in on the training team, thinking, am I good enough for this? And then I think sometimes my reaction is usually withdraw as well.
No, I understand that.
Myself, so it probably go hand in hand.
Well, I'll let you into a little secret. This today is the first time I've ever run anything like this. And I feel like I'm in a very privileged situation, and I'm slightly worried about it. I still am slightly worried about it. IT's tried to trip me up so far, and we've managed to put it back, but it happens. So I understand that self-doubt, but I think when you think about it, there's plenty of challenges there for you. Yeah, so we can probably just cross that one off. I think we're going to do. Self-doubt. Who here thinks self-doubt is a bad thing? Yeah? You think? Tell us why.
Because doubt introduces fear, and fear is destructive because it leads to resignation and confidence.
Yeah, it does.
So doubt, I think, is one of the biggest corroders
Okay.
achievements, personal achievement that you have.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, funny enough, if you look up there, things we're going to talk about later: dealing with failure, dealing with fear. So no, it's a good point to bring out. My thoughts are, and I had a conversation with a mutual friend of Alan and I's the other day, who's done a lot more of this, and I was really starting to doubt myself about it. And he had literally just come back from running another day that he does, and he said to me, "John, I'd be worried if you were telling me you weren't having a bit of self-doubt." In my eyes, self-doubt shows that you care about what you're doing, and if you're having a bit of self-doubt and you care about it enough, then you'll do something about it to make sure actually you overcome whatever it is you're doubting. So yes, when it's too heavy, that self-doubt, it can be a bad thing. Actually, having some self-doubt is not a bad thing. That's what keeps us on our toes. Same as having fear is a good thing, and that's what we're going to talk about later. Everyone gets scared. Only stupid people don't get scared, or liars. We all get scared. Fear is a good thing. It's what heightens the body's senses. It's what makes you do good things. Okay, so don't worry about self-doubt, is what I said, and actually I think we can at least move it into the middle, but personally I would really like to move it all the way across. is where I think self-doubt is a good thing in small bits, and you just need to keep control of it. Okay?